I'm Irish American and first generation, and it's hard for me to be objective about this movie, so I'm not even going to try. I love this movie. Always have, always will. But is it my favorite movie? No, it isn't. But I'd be hard pressed to think of an alternative. It's a movie that's woven into my early family life like a fine cable knit sweater on a rainy winter's night. And yet, there wasn't a big deal made about it around the house. There was no sit down and watch it now. It just always seemed to be around. And it's a movie that always makes me laugh, and by the end of it, I'm so blissfully happy that you'd think it was me that married Maureen O'Hara. But Ireland is a matriarchy, and how Irish women feel about it may be another matter entirely. They probably recognize it for the male centric fantasy that it is. I know Ethel didn't care for it, but she was of a younger generation, and I understood her reasoning. This romantic fantasy is just that, a fantasy that speaks to every Irishman's dream of returning to Ireland and falling in love with a fiery Colleen. And director John Ford makes it all go down with a heavy dose of Gaelic humor and bespoke sentimentality. Except, it isn't true. My parents never wanted to return to Ireland. Visit, sure, but that's it. They were both born in Limerick, and all they wanted to do was get out of there, to get on with it, moving forward, and that meant America. So I think this fantasy probably appeals more to Irish American males than it does to actual immigrants. John Wayne plays Sean Thornton, a retired American prizefighter who returns to the land of his birth with the idea of buying the cottage he was born in. Maureen O'Hara plays Mary Kate Danaher, whose red hair is no lie. He soon falls in love with her anyway, and we're off to the races as problems quickly arise. Victor McGlagan plays Red Will Danaher, Kate's brother, who also wants to buy the very same cottage from the current owner, the widow Talan, who's secretly in love with Red Danaher. But she's upset at Danaher's blustering ways and decides to sell the cottage to Thornton. This is the cottage that Sean Thornton was born in, and this is the cottage my father was born in. Barry Fitzgerald plays Micheline O'Flynn, the town of Innisfree's bookmaker and matchmaker, who supervises the walking and the talking as Sean and Mary Kate begin their courting. But Kate's brother is still upset at losing the cottage, so he refuses to consent to their marriage. So the local villagers concoct a plan. Because, after all, isn't that what local villagers do? But I won't spoil the details of the plan, except to say that in the end, Will consents to the marriage. Except on the wedding day, the plan is accidentally exposed. Well, the deed is done, but Will won't release Mary Kate's dowry. The dowry is the MacGuffin of the movie. It sets the story in motion and provides the essential conflict. Sean could care less about the dowry, but it matters to Mary Kate. She's worked hard for it, working for years on her brother's farm. This movie is famous for its climactic fight scene, but it's wigs on the green in more ways than one. Because that fight extends to the bedroom. Mary Kate will not consummate their marriage until the dowry is paid. Poor John Wayne. He winds up sleeping in a sleeping bag because they don't have a couch. Well, who hasn't been there? But at least I had a couch. Danaher eventually lets Mary Kate have her furniture, but he refuses to hand over the money. And Mary Kate believes Sean is a coward for not fighting her brother to get the money back. What she doesn't know is that he killed the man in the ring and has vowed never to fight again. This being Ireland, Sean consults his local minister, who knows all about his tragic past, while Mary Kate goes to see her local priest, who's played by Ford regular Ward Bond, and he lets her have it for being so materialistic. But later that night, Mary Kate and Sean share their bed for the first time. And come the morning, Sean comes out of the bedroom feeling, well, pretty good. But he soon discovers that Mary Kate is gone. Sitting on his doorstep is none other than Micheline O'Flynn, who informs him that his wife will soon be boarding a train for Dublin. And John Wayne says, "Fetch my horse." Of course, what else would he say? He races to the railway station and pulls Mary Kate off the train and then forces her to walk with him the 5 miles back to Danaher's farm, followed by crowds of villagers who were already taking bets on the inevitable outcome. The great character actor Jack McGowan has a great moment when he tells Will Danaher that his in-laws are coming to visit. Squire Darlin. Sean confronts Will about the money. When Will refuses to pay up, Sean throws Mary Kate at her brother's feet and says, "It's your custom. No fortune, no marriage." Publicly humiliated, Danaher throws the money down, but Sean and Mary Kate throw it in the burner. And Mary Kate walks through the crowd, don't you know, with her head held very high indeed. And then it truly is wigs on the green as Sean and Will fight it out. The fight itself is played for laughs, but there are two shots where Wayne uncorks a roundhouse right that is movie poetry in motion. The fight ends, as it should, in a pub, and high time too. And the movie ends with a wonderful curtain call by all the actors. And by then, I'm a basket case. Now, for a more modern and very funny take on Irish life, and in particular Irish family life, I highly recommend The Snapper. Trust me on this one. And if all that isn't enough to take the taste of the tea right out of your mouth, I just learned that my youngest brother Martin has immigrated to Ireland. Now, thinking about that, I had to wonder who would survive the experience, Ireland or my brother Martin. Micheline O'Flynn would have said it's even money. But given recent events, maybe my youngest brother is on to something. See you around the campus.